Derek Carr has been exposed. Derek Carr is not playing like a quarterback who, for a brief time, was the highest-paid player in the history of the NFL. That's an understatement. Carr has vacillated between okay to downright bad during the 2017 season. He was the latter during the Raiders' soul-crushing 19-10 loss against the Eagles on Christmas night. The Raiders' franchise quarterback was timid in the pocket, afraid to throw downfield, threw with poor mechanics and made terrible decisions. He didn't look right, which made sense considering he suffered a fracture back earlier this season and broke his leg at the end of the 2016 season. The explanation for Carr's dip in play, his passer rating has dropped from 96.7 last season to 86.0 in 2017, was built in. He's not healthy. He's just not the same player he was a year ago before inking the $125 million deal. One problem: these issues were all over Carr's 2016 tape, as well, which is why I criticized the deal when it was signed. A couple of things I wrote about Carr's game before these injuries. From last October, Carr still has some flaws he'll need to get rid of before he gets into the top 10 quarterback discussion, which isn't a slight against him. He's only 25. His accuracy and footwork are inconsistent at best. He doesn't see the field as clearly as other top quarterbacks do. And he's not at the point where he's making anticipatory throws, which is where his offensive line really helps him out. Carr usually has to see his receiver get open before he makes a throw, and, fortunately for him, he typically has the time to do so. Most quarterbacks do not enjoy that luxury. From September, many have anointed Carr as top 10 quarterback, but we want to see more development from the Raiders star before we elevate him to that status. Carr has benefited from a great offensive line that has kept him clean. His decision-making and accuracy suffer on the rare occasion he has to deal with pressure, and Carr has to do a better job of being patient in the pocket when conditions aren't ideal. It doesn't sound like a whole lot has changed. Well, other than Carr's offensive line not playing at the level it did before he signed his contract this offseason. Carr hasn't regressed, he's been exposed. Are the injuries contributing to Carr's poor play? Maybe, but it's been a full year since the broken leg. The back fracture was a minor injury. Cam Newton suffered the same exact injury in 2014 and missed a game. Tony Romo suffered the same injury that same season, missed one game before putting together the best statistical season of his career. Another issue has been the Raiders' play calling, which, as we've written here, has been bad this season, but Carr is leaving a lot of plays on the field, whether it's due to poor accuracy or hesitancy to throw it downfield. Carr's mentality has been a problem this season. On multiple occasions, he's been asked about the lack of downfield shots for the Raiders' passing game, and he's had similar responses. This isn't what you want to hear from your $125 million franchise quarterback. You don't even want to hear this from a $10 million game manager. He is letting the defense dictate where goes with the ball. He's playing right into the defense's hands by throwing short for completions that do not move the chains, something he's been content to do his entire career, which is why he has a below-average yards per attempt and performs poorly in situation-dependent stats, like ESPN's QBR, while performing well on traditional efficiency stats. That conservative approach worked when the running game was effective and the receivers were making plays. The Raiders aren't getting that same production from their skill players, and Carr has shown he's incapable of picking up the slack, which is probably what the Raiders were expecting when they offered him a 9-figure contract. This certainly isn't what Oakland was expecting from its franchise quarterback, but the warning signs were there the entire time. More, 14 adorable pictures of Jordan Spieth and his new fiancée, Annie Varied. Tom Brady reacts to Jimmy Garoppolo's success in San Francisco. Jordan Spieth and longtime girlfriend Annie Varied appear to be engaged. Lonzo Ball bought his dad an incredible new car for Christmas. The 10 funniest SNL sports skits of 2017, ranked.